the stream firstly, cause I don't have a sound over here. My God, probably my microphone is really cooked. But unfortunately, we've got a sound over here as well, which is like, yeah, you can finally hear the sound of my Xbox. By the way, my new Xbox, which is Xbox Series S, and I bought it before my birthday, which is that week, I guess. Alright. I need to send my stream. How is the stream, by the way? Look. Alright. Do you have bot broadcasting? Cause here is the deal. Here is the catch. I bought a new Xbox. There's a lot of change actually happened here. So basically, I need to have a look. Everything. Is it good? Right. So yeah, I just wait. Can you hear the sound of mix and audio? So basically, yeah. The microphone just a little bit. Wait. You probably cannot hear the sound of my new Xbox. Anyway, we'll have a look. Huh. Wait, probably you hear. Wait. Because guess what? I've got a Xbox subscription. Fuck's sake. Alright, I guess I should stop that mouse. I can see. Oh, you. Oh shit. So. It's so low. Damn. The sound. Kind of. I guess the sound is quietly. Let's just say. Alright. I guess I have to restart the game. Yeah, I guess I have to restart the game. By the way, I can see the chat over here, which is really good thing. Yeah, so I can just broadcast. I stopped downloading my Accession game, which is, you know, it makes it more easier for me. So in that case, right. finally. Alright, so let's just play some games. So, what I've been done is I've got a monsters for tonight, which so I've got a white monster too, with all of them without sugar. I've got a green which is the white monster basically is Energy Ultra Paradise monster, which is a green one. I've got a I've got a Ultra Strawberry Dreams, and I've got a Ultra Peach Kelly. All of them without sugar. And yeah, we're gonna play Halo Combat Evolved multiplayer for some reason, because get pissed from I guess people get pissed from Halo 3. I mean, I love Halo 3. Don't take me wrong, but eventually I kind of got bored of it. So yeah, I'll basically just yeah. I will probably oh as I switch to Windows. Oh fuck. Oh shit. As I switch to Windows 11, I can do more options, so I can stream on my PC. Off PC. I've got a laptop, HP Pavilion, which is still working on with Intel Core i5 and G4 GTX 100, no 1080 resolution, which but it's not basically for gaming. Fuck's sake, what I'm saying. I'll probably play some stuff like Avakin Life or World of Warcraft, some OG games, you know. But yeah, eventually I bought my Xbox Series S, and it's amazing. It's really good Xbox. So I've got Xbox 306, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and yeah, finally I did a kill. Speaking of which, because it's a Halo, of course. Right. I'm done talking too much. By the way, reason why I bought my Xbox subscription. Shit, I'm talking too much. I'm so excited to do stream at the moment. So the reason why I bought my Xbox is first this month. I mean, I bought it on April. I bought on April. Oh, no, that's a non-scope. I bought in April, which actually is not meant to be bought in April, but I bought it anyway and I got broke. Because it was my birthday. I was working a lot for this Xbox anyway. And before I bought my new holiday, which is on Krakow. Crap! They throw a grenade. No way. Fucking hell. Bro, I love streaming. Streaming is good. Right. How is the I would check later. Probably if I just switch. I think. Honestly, think. I think the volume of the Xbox is so high. So basically, I have to. Oh yeah. All right. I will see how things work on my Xbox. How the things works. Right. Gonna send. I also need to send. Also need to. Right. All right. I'm leaving the lobby. Back. Come on. Right. How is it works over here? probably just kinda. Oh, that's okay. Alright. I just want to see my whole things go work on my. I need to turn off my internet. Fuck, I forgot. Oh, anyway. I don't think people's gonna watch me anyway. So if you watch me here, you can text something. Maybe you can write in Bulgarian, like аз си говоря български, but mostly I speak on English, cause who who Bulgarian's gonna fucking play Halo anyway, unless if it's fucking free. uh, so yeah, a lot of things happen around me by the way. So the first one is I bought a flat and I'm living there. Yeah, I live on my own flat and it's so good. Living for your own is the best thing you can do for your life. As a I was 22 years old. I mean, I'm still 22 years old when I bought this flat. I'm saying it because this week on Saturday I'm making 23. Alright, let me grab some monster because I'm so thirsty, mate. And later I might go to the toilet. Mm. Yep. I fixed my windows. Yeah, there's a lot of things happen. This week, this month is the last few months to college. So basically, I'm gonna finish my course. I'm doing great, as I see. I don't know. Probably I don't do great, but I'm not sure. We'll see. All right. Two versus one. Two against four. That's no fair. Oh shit. That's not fair. Uh, that's not good. So unfortunately, we're not taking kills, which is fucked up. But I play social games. The reason why I play social games is because I fucking hate competitive modes. Like I'm supposed to play games for fun. I'm not supposed to play games for you know. All right, the team took the lead. Of course, we'll take the lead. Like we just like oh my god, that's not good. Um, Probably play Charlie or stuff. I don't know. But better futures on streamings will appear once I deal with streaming. So I'll probably stream more often because I'm enjoying streaming as a hobby. Like or I got killed. Uh, but see the graphics are so good. Like the new Xbox is really good. By the way, I like her Series S. I mean, you can play disc, and that's fine. I mean, for me it's fine because I would rather like buy the games digitally now. And why I need it digitally is because I don't want I have too much. I like to collect. I mean, what is the reason to buy a game on disc while the newest games are more made to be bought digitally, like a Steam stuff, Well, eventually, I'll probably save old Xbox 36 games. That's what I can save as a disc or stuff. But eventually, or just if it's about Xbox Series S games, I'll prefer to buy them digitally. Oh my god, I'm talking too much, bro. Help me. All right. Just having my white monster. Second for today. I'm probably not gonna sleep, and I'll probably get killed because. Oh, by the way, there's another update. My internet for now is good. I say for now because in the future it will change, and I'll probably missing streaming again. Ah dear, life is too horrible sometimes. Uh, playing games on here and probably switch to my Xbox One to play some The Witcher. Oh shit. Play some The Witcher, probably play some. I don't know what I'm gonna play. I've got Assassin's Creed Revelation, which is about the Ottoman Empire. As you know, Bulgarians are not fans entire of the Ottoman Empire because of Batak massacre and moreover the forcing Islam and the end of the Christianity in Bulgaria. Forgot the name of the king, by the way. Holy shit. Alright, at least they make 11 kills, which is really good. They're good. I mean, I know the Halo community is so toxic, I don't know why. And it's quite funny gamers to be that toxic, because games are played to be fun, you know. Alright, this is why I don't like playing more versus less, because I can't find enemies to kill. There we go, finally son. There we go. But no, that was unfortunately assist, which is oh shit. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of this months, and eventually this summer will be the best. Please, I hope this summer to have some fun, cause this summer on June I'm going to Krakow, and the next month, which is on July, on June I go to Krakow. July um I'm going to let's just say Alicante in Spain, to the seaside. Of course, seaside summer is a really important thing in my life since I moved to UK. As you people who doesn't know, I'm actually Bulgarian, and I live in UK before I moved here before Brexit, year before Brexit. So mm, my monster is crazy, eh? So yeah, I've been doing here a lot here. Oh fuck's sake, dear. Oh no, I got killed by the guy who actually has a Ryu Hayabusa skin. Speaking of Ryu Hayabusa, I really want to buy the new Ninja Gaiden, because I'm really big fan of Ninja Gaiden franchise. Yeah, I kind of love Ninja Gaidens, and since I saw the game trailer of Ninja Gaiden 3 when it was like a wee child, I was like, oh, I want to play this fucking game so bad. Oh my god, why the fuck kill them? Nice. Alright. Oh, dilate. Like colors, red versus blue. You know. Oh shit. Oh, that's not fair. Like, I'm gonna ride this. Oh no 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 no. My apologies. I had unexpected guest here. Guest here. So yeah, it's annoying. Yeah. Yeah, my fly is still fixing some. Basically, there's all people constructions over here just to construction or someone just to fix some stuff in my flat anyway. Yeah. All right. grab it like that. Where is these, huh? Where are they, huh? Come on, come on, come on. Where are you? Fuck! Bro, no, he just... that was fun. That was fun. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Spam. Here we go. At least I've got like 3 kills. Oh, the guy who has a -1. Oh my god. Are you noob? No, I'm joking. I'm not good in that game either. Oh, who the hell is that? Hmm. 1 minute remain. No, 2. It's actually 2. Oh, hell no, bro. I love this. I love this weapon, but why so nerfed? 3 for 3. Oh, good. Right, I guess this weapon is so good. Mm. Where are you? Oh wait, oh wait. Alright. Oh, here we go. Oh, I did the last kill. Nice. Got a badge for friendly fire. Crazy. Mm. Mm. Oh, let me take a picture of this. Yeah. I'm on 3rd place. Alright, I wanna play a different mod, which is 8v18 deathmatch. It's a huge one. Nobody's watching, which is not a good deal. I will probably play some video over here. Yeah, I will try to play some video. Right. Alright. Let me just let me just go there. Open. You. Come on. Yeah, YouTube. My browser is cooked. Which Halo we're gonna play? We Halo 3. I will give a for now. So yeah. Alright. Alright, I guess I'm gonna drive. shit, I got killed. Oh, this more is more fun. Like this more is quite more fun. I mean, so good. Holy sh! Very easy. Game delete, bro. Oh no. Oh hell no, bro. Oh, I got killed. No. Oh my god. Where are you, huh? Bro, try. Alright. I did. I just went to game, that's why. Right. Oh my gosh. Huh. we still lead the game, which is good. Alright, can I use this? Oh no, I got killed. Who the hell is this fucking kill me? Right, game delete. Get out of here, mate. Oh no, bro. They got the best one. No, bro. Bro, we should destroy this one. Alright, we should destroy this huge tank. Well, I'm getting that heavy drop with my. Alright, oh no! They've got another tank! And yeah, I've got destroyed anyway. I got another one. Where are you? Bro. Where's. Oh shit. My bad. Alright. That's a fun thing in Halo. That's why I love Halo. Alright. Bro, I wanna drive this one in real life. Not gonna lie. Ha 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 ha. Double kill. Who did that? No. I was I was actually happy about the double kill. Right. Alright, can I join? No. Hell no. I need to escape here. Oh no, I got killed. Roar. Fuck. What in Oblivion is that? Bro. Bro. What was that? Oh, that's the most pathetic weapon ever seen. Oh shit, that's destroyed. I like massive multiplayer when it's like that. So yeah, oh, someone took this. Here, fuck. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, they got the tank and they gonna kill me. Of course. At least I got 2 kills, which most of them are double kill. Oh my god. I don't know why I shot this one. Oh hell no. Alright. swipe, but no way. Alright, join. Okay, I'll remember this. Alright. Alright. Oh fuck. Oh, we lost the lead. That's not good. Oh. Oh, hell no. Leave me be, please. I will take this one. Alright. Oh my god. Who left that one here? Of course it's the enemy, but you know. Wait. Who cares this shit? Holy crap. Alright. We've got a tank, but I'm not using this one. Hit that. Hit that. Fuck. Bro. Stop doing Africa stuff. Bro. No. Game over, bro. Game over. Game over. Yeah. Yep. Game over. Alright, I need to go toilet. Right, cool guys. So just play something else, which I will probably, so I'll probably switch off to the other Xbox. So basically, which yeah, I'm just gonna remove that for a while. I'll grab my second joystick. Alright, that should be alright. Alright, I switched to my Xbox One S. So in that case, I've put the Assassin's Creed, which I won't play right now because I don't want to play so. Instead, I'll play a kind of the Division 1, which, yeah, I mean, I've got the Division 2, but to be fair, I prefer the Division 1 mostly, because well, Division 1 is a really good game. Alright, I need to log in on YouTube. Right. Think I don't know. Alright, I'm in. So basically, how was the stream, by the way? Hold on. Alright. I'm usually. Right, by the way, that's my character in the Division 1. So, you know, I might play with the Xbox Series S controller. It's more comfortable. So I'm just gonna connect it here. Just connect my Xbox controller. Yeah. Right. Ladies and gentlemen. That's my second character, which is level 4. But that's the best dog. Honestly. Let me just take out this controller, because this controller pisses me off most of the time. Alright, I wanna do something here. I wanna play some guy who I think he recently has a virus. Everything to say So basically, yeah. We're just gonna play people complain here, as I complain about my life. Headspace with Spiro is a good person. Headspace with Spiro, which that's why didn't I subscribe for this dude? Right. Any.
It's kind of lifestyle.
All right. All right. What we can do now is make a add source, display capture, monitor. All right. This will be here somehow. All right. That's gonna be removed. This add source. Nginx text view. Window capture. Oh, Windows capture. So what we can capture? Yes, that view. Just I'm gonna be like, gonna make as a face cam. That's not me, by the way. Just gonna play like that. I'm gonna fix a little bit. Yep. So, let me see how that thing's gonna work. I was just gonna go with something like that. I'm not sure. Yes, that's gonna be perfect. Huh. Hey, is there any more options like to be more? No, I don't think would be good. Is that gonna be work actually? That's what actually I want to do on my stream. Just watching some different people, and we're just gonna be like, you know, so we're just gonna watch different people, how they do in life, and yeah, this is what I want to while I play video games. And I need to bring somehow, well, basically need a Streamlab for this instead. Why? Because I will bring to see the chat over here, but unfortunately no one's chatting here. So eventually, there's no point. All right. Let me stop. All right.
A number of years ago, I was in a group setting with a couple people I'd known since high school, and one of them had brought up that there was a girl that he had a crush on, and that she was in France right now, and
is that actually work? I want to see with my eyes. I want to see that with my eyes. All right. Mm-mm. Okay. Let me check this. Or I'll continue with this character. Plague Dark Zone, by the way. Alright, we'll play it.
she was a fashion model or something like that. Now, one of the other so-called friends in the group very rudely, without any hesitation, says, "Oh, you couldn't afford her lifestyle." Essentially saying that you're not good enough. You cannot afford her. You cannot afford to date her. Saying that he doesn't have a shot with this girl. Now, of course, I took issue with that comment. I remember I had taken my buddy to the side and said, "Hey, dude, do you want me to say something about this? Because I don't like that. I didn't like that comment. Trying to knock you down a peg." And again, it goes to show just how fake a lot of people are nowadays. They don't have the best interests of the people around them. And it's sad to say this, but unfortunately, a lot of these friend circles, social circles, are really just a bunch of people trying to one-up each other.
You. Just
Oh,
you.
bro, why the
Building
hell
your app.
this adverts over happening?
On base 44. Describe it. And it's real. One thought leads to more thoughts. Layer by layer. Taking shape.
Alright, guys.
When you need your tools, bring them in. They just click.
Bro,
Okay, kick it up a notch.
let me check the dailies.
Create something smarter. Something powerful. Style counts, so give it your touch. Big or small. Next idea hits at 2 a.m. Of course it does. Keep building. Ask yourself, wait, I built this? Damn right. Base 44. Build it your way.
Off. 100%
Oh,
gym
bro.
on. Ready to go all in on that pure gym
Get
feeling?
away.
We're offering 50% off the
Trying to compete with one another, trying to knock each other down a peg. And just flaunt their egos. That's what it is. Like this perfect example. Now, this friend who had made the rude comment was actually doing well for himself financially, which I am happy for. I'm happy for him doing well financially and being in the position that he was in. Which is sadly something that a lot of these friends nowadays won't say. They won't be happy for the success of the people around them. You got to get rid of those people. You got to cut off those kind of negative people. Anyone who makes you feel like you're a lesser version of yourself or you're always drained hanging out with, just cut them off. Point of this video, whatever he meant by that, whatever he implied by saying you could not afford her, like if he's talking about that he couldn't afford the designer clothing or taking her out to the, whatever he meant by that, I want to make a point here because women who want to live this luxurious lifestyle, men who want to push this kind of stuff, the only luxury that you have in life is your health. That is the biggest luxury you have. If something happens to your health, Dolce & Gabbana is not going to come save you. Cartier is not going to come save you. That's something that I think a lot of women now especially do not understand. They're so focused on this kind of...
Let me just stop the video for a while. What are we gonna do with these streams? I wanna make him a little bit more deeper. So basically, oh my god, so what, bro? So basically, I'll watch your videos. I'll mute myself. I'm gonna watch the video and then I will comment it. I will just gonna comment. Wow, that's happened. I'll play video games. Cause I'm dirty ass gamer who drink Monster every day. I won't even fucking sleep. That's crazy, isn't it? Wait, I'm just gonna mute myself and I'll play Spiro just to talk. Cause this guy's so fucking smart. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he's so smart. Alright, just gonna play myself. Yeah, alright, and that's it. Just gonna move my chat here. Yeah, moving the chat here. Oh, a good combination. But can I just... Hold on a second. Oh, bro. Bro. Oh shit, that's even better. Mate, that's even better. Oh my god. So this guy, alright, I'll play at the beginning. So this guy, ladies and gentlemen, he gonna be our face cam. Bro, that's gonna be crazy. Oh bro, I'm genius, bro. Right. So this guy gonna talk while I play video games. That's gonna be funny. That's gonna be fun. So the the let's just say so the guy is a headspace with Spiro, and the video name is "Women Think Men Can Afford Their Lifestyle Anymore. They can barely even afford." Alright, I'm just gonna post on the comments. Alright, gonna post on the chat. This is what the video what we're gonna watch now. So this is the video what we're gonna watch. I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna mute myself, and I will let Spiro talk, which I will just.
A number of years ago, I was in a group setting with a couple people I'd known since high school, and one of them had brought up that there was a girl that he had had a crush on, and that she was in France right now, and she was a fashion model or something like that. Now, one of the other so-called friends in the group, very rudely, without any hesitation, says, "Oh, you couldn't afford her lifestyle." Essentially saying that you're not good enough. You cannot afford her. You cannot afford to date her. Saying that he doesn't have a shot with this girl. Now, of course, I took issue with that comment. I remember I had taken my buddy to the side and said, "Hey, dude, do you want me to say something about this? Because I don't like that. I didn't like that comment. Trying to knock you down a peg." And again, it goes to show just how fake a lot of people are nowadays. They don't have the best interests of the people around them. And it's sad to say this, but unfortunately, a lot of these friend circles, social circles, are really just a bunch of people trying to one-up each other, trying to compete with one another, trying to knock each other down a peg, and just flaunt their egos. That's what it is. Like this perfect example. Now, this friend who had made the rude comment was actually doing well for himself financially, which I am happy for. I'm happy for him doing well financially and being in the position that he was in, which is sadly something that a lot of these friends nowadays won't say. They won't be happy for the success of the people around them. You got to get rid of those people. You got to cut off those kind of negative people. Anyone who makes you feel like you're a lesser version of yourself or you're always drained hanging out with, just cut them off. But to my bigger point of this video, whatever he meant by that, whatever he implied by saying you could not afford her, like if he's talking about that he couldn't afford the designer clothing or taking her out to the, whatever he meant by that, I want to make a point here, because women who want to live this luxurious lifestyle, men who want to push this kind of stuff, the only luxury that you have in life is your health. That is the biggest luxury you have. If something happens to your health, Dolce & Gabbana is not going to come save you. Cartier is not going to come save you. That's something that I think a lot of women now especially do not understand. They're so focused on this kind of image that they don't realize that this kind of material stuff goes away. And I think it's good. I think it's good to have. If you're happy with it, if it's within your means, I'm glad. I'm happy for you. But don't try to drag the other people down around you who either don't have those means or because you don't want to see them succeed. And even the lifestyle that a lot of women I see nowadays, or a lot of them, women I've even seen in their 40s who are going to nightclubs and raves, taking selfies with the tongue out. And over here in Seattle, we have a Septum Ring Utopia. But a lot of women wanting to live this kind of lifestyle. And of course wondering why they're not married at that age. No man, no self-respecting man is going to take a woman seriously like that who goes to places like that. But even with the whole nightlife thing, if we're going to talk about what people can and cannot afford, the prices of some of these tables are absolutely ridiculous. When I was in my early 20s, I had gone a couple times with some people, and
you asked for more ways to create, so we made a major update. Sleeve printing is now live. You can now design directly on sleeves across some of our best-selling hoodies.
Just getting a table, ridiculous prices. The drinks and stuff there, ridiculous prices. These are not things that men are going to want to play a part in. Just to have some image of one night, to act like you're something. And in the city I'm in, which I can really only speak for the city I'm in because I've lived here my whole life, but I've heard kind of a similar trend with a lot of people I've talked to or seen in videos. But the cost of living here, if we're going to talk about affordability, is absolutely ridiculous. The housing prices in Seattle, an aunt of mine who used to live here, she was a doctor, and she had sold her house in 2017 for $700,000, which even to this day is still an expensive home if you look at the national average and stuff like that. But that house now, just out of curiosity, we looked it up, is worth almost $2 million. So even in a little bit less than 10 years, it's gone up triple. It's gone up triple. The price of groceries here being ridiculous. A lot of men struggling right now, and that's the problem. That's why I get so annoyed with stuff like this, like I mentioned in the beginning, because you have that, and then you have people who are going to want to be rude and going to want to be condescending and going to want to make it seem like you are not good enough or you are subpar. I'm tired of it. A big problem I see too is, like I mentioned, with this friend who made the comment, having a good job. Like I mentioned, I'm happy for people who go to those positions. I've known a lot of people who are dentists, who are doctors, who are lawyers, who are engineers, but they're also humble. They don't try to act like they're some big shot. Try to act like they're better than everyone else around them. You can talk to them and they're respectful. But I've also seen what I really think it is character flaws exacerbated, being brought out by these positions. But people who think because they have the job status, that they are now better than the people around them. It's really insecurity being brought out by those positions. But people now thinking they're better than the people around them, and then wanting to make these kind of statements. This friend, if it's not obvious, not someone I talk to anymore. Someone that I did cut off for stuff like that. Another thing, this guy would always engage in like gossiping, throwing people under the bus. Not things that a friend would do, but things that are sadly very common nowadays among men. But even with the living here, the cost of living here, the living situation here, when I would do DoorDash orders, there was something where they're called red card orders, where they would basically preload a debit card and you would go around a grocery store and do shopping for them. Now, I don't usually go to your run-of-the-mill grocery stores, like I mentioned, because of pricing. We have a few grocery outlets in Winco in the area. But the tally on some of these groceries was absolutely ridiculous. Barely anything. I don't know how long this food would last them, especially if they have families. $80, $100 for barely anything. There's a lot of people who are struggling right now. The last thing they need is someone to be rude and condescending. The last thing they need is this kind of nonsense in the dating market. When it comes to even this whole term of average men, whatever that even means nowadays, which I personally take problem with because it's coming from women who I would argue are not average, who I would argue are below average in many cases. Women I see getting ridiculous cosmetic procedures, ruining their beauty, first of all. Wearing ridiculous amounts of makeup, thinking that they're better than the men around them, thinking that they're entitled to something that does not even exist. The man they imagine doesn't exist, quite frankly, and even if they had that, they think that they can do better. And I saw this over the past few years, especially when social media and dating apps became such a forefront of people's lives, just this delusional sense of entitlement and thinking that you are now, that you could always do better, that the grass is always greener. A lot of these same women, because I guess it's a fairly new thing, but you're starting to see it already, the remnants of it. Give it a few years' time. Those are the same women. They're going to reach a certain age, whether it's 30, whether it's 35, whether it's 40, whether it's even sooner, that are going to be wondering where the good men are at. When in reality, the good men are the ones who wanted to date you when you were in your 20s, that you rejected, that you thought you were above, that you thought you were better than, that you thought you were using for validation and attention. That's where the good men are. The good men have moved on. That ship has sailed. People worried more about this image than even any form of respect or decency or building something. Women wanting to create their social media profiles. When I used to use dating apps, there'd be women literally just linking their Instagram accounts, just wanting a follow. And sadly, very sadly, you have a lot of men who are playing part in this kind of stuff. Even men who are struggling financially that I've known. Buying women stuff on their online wish list, going to these kind of barista stands and tipping ridiculous amounts of money thinking you're going to buy their love. have some self-respect. That's what the problem is. I don't even care, because the more I even think about it, women like that are really a lost cause when it comes to their mindset, truthfully. But when I see men who are putting themselves in financial ruin for things like that to try to impress women, I'm going to speak out on it. And even with the living stuff, I've known many people who, at 18, they want to be right out of the house. They want to get their own apartment strictly for women because they want to have a girlfriend over. They think they can't do it with their parents or whatever it might be at that age. Which, the way I feel about living with your parents is, if it's within your means to live on your own and that's what you want to do, go for it. But don't feel some pressure by the people around you or whoever it might be that you need to do that. And if anyone's going to shame you for living with your parents or not living on your own, regardless of what age you are, especially if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, those are not your friends to begin with. Those are not people that you should care. Especially a woman like that, you shouldn't care what she thinks, because it shows, well, that to me shows that she doesn't respect the foundation of what a family is even to begin with. So she's definitely not a woman that you'd ever be able to have a family with. And at the same point, I understand that family can also be hard. I understand there are cases where parents can be toxic. I understand that, of course, no parent is perfect. But the reality is you're not going to have your parents forever. Statistically speaking, there's a high likelihood that, especially at that age, that any relationship you have with a girl is not going to last long term. Whereas if something happens to your parents, you're not going to be able to replace them. So I think if you have the opportunity, especially in this city, to save your money, to really just focus on something, whether it's going to college, whether it's finding a job, whether it's getting into a trade, and you don't have to worry about that burden of paying rent by a certain amount of time, and sure, of course, still help your parents if you're with them, especially if they're elderly, but take that opportunity. Don't put yourself in financial, like I've seen so many people do, putting themselves in financial ruin just to impress women. I've seen that a lot. So if we're going to talk about what men can and cannot afford, like this bro, so-called, very rudely said, men can't afford the nonsense. They don't have time for the games anymore. They just don't. They really just don't. And even with how superficial things have gotten, I was talking to someone who is actually in his 80s, and he made a very interesting point. He said when he was younger, I can't remember exactly how the saying goes, but I think it is a fairly known saying, that women are attracted to what they hear, and what men are, I guess, attracted to what they see, right? Where nowadays, it's like women are more superficial, materialistic than ever before. You could have a man who is respectable, who has a story, who has persevered in life. A lot of women are not going to be interested in that because they want this image. They want this social media image of what they see on there. These people are miserable. They're miserable. And I'll be upfront in saying this too. I've been noticing, and it goes to show, women aging faster than in previous generations. I remember I was watching, I think it was Terminator 3, and the girl who plays, I think, the TX in that movie. And of course you can say, oh, well, she's a celebrity, she's an actress, but that's besides the point. Women, even in their 20s, even in their later 20s, used to still look youthful. I'm seeing women now, 23, 24, that don't look youthful anymore. They don't. And it goes to show with just how miserable they are living in their own head, the stressors and stuff like that. Of course, us as men, we have stress. A man's life is generally not easy, but part of being a man is persevering. That really goes to show the kind of, really the perseverance that a lot of men have, that they're able to keep their head up and persevere through these kind of things, have kind of this resolute kind of behavior characteristics. But I don't think a lot of women really are prepared or understand that kind of lifestyle. They don't. Being so caught up with making this kind of online image, and then that's what you're dependent on for your sense of confidence, is not going to lead anywhere good. Because like I said, that's going to go away eventually. The wall is real. They're going to hit that wall eventually. And like I mentioned, it seems like it's now sooner than ever before. And what are you going to have when that happens? Because you're not going to be getting the attention like you used to before. You're not going to be getting the dating app matches like you used to before? Are you going to just fall into being by yourself? That's what I think. But we're at a position, guys, where men need to be humble amongst one another, women especially, but these so-called friends need to really just be more uplifting, if anything, or just don't say anything at all. If you're going to make a comment like that or think something like that, just don't say it. Don't say it. These kind of traits are just way too common. Way, way too common. And before I end the video, I want to tell you guys a quick story. Just kind of going into this whole thing, this idea of a Ford, the point of the beginning. I was at a gas station a while back and I had some leftover food. It was a clean slice of pizza from a restaurant that I had taken home. And there was a guy who was asking for food and I actually given him the pizza. I remember he had asked me, he said, "Oh, but are you gonna have any food for yourself?" Now, I was someone who had a car, who was getting gas. He was someone who was asking for food. And what it went to show was what this man lacked financially, what he didn't have in abundance in, money-wise, he had in something that a lot of people lack nowadays, that a lot of people are bankrupt in nowadays, which is character, decency, respect. You don't see that enough. You just don't. You just don't. Among dating, among friends, you just don't. And that was really eye-opening. That was very eye-opening to see that. And, you know, people being so worried about this kind of stuff, people making comments like that, just cut them off. Don't play part in this game. Don't be the court jester. Don't play part in this game with impressing women and want to live this flashy lifestyle. Like even, I mean, when I was in high school, the fashion trends were pretty strange. If you guys remember people wearing like Gucci belts, retro Jordans, all this kind of stuff. But people just spending all their money to kind of try to create this image, right? Whereas it shouldn't be just about what's on the outside. It really shouldn't. And again, I'm someone who's for dressing good and going to the gym. I'm someone who's for that. But there's been this lack of appreciation for the person, for who they are. And I think it's why a lot of people seemingly might lack personality nowadays, as I've heard people say. But yeah, it's just gotten way out of control. Ultimately, what we can afford to do is focus on our mission and purpose and our peace and solitude. That's what we can afford. So, as always, guys, I appreciate you viewing the video. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a good one.
Alright guys, here's my opinion of this video, and it's actually really, let's say this, just want this one. It's really sad that women nowadays doesn't care about males. Like most of the women just don't care about males' mental health. They don't care about nothing at all. As you see the economy at the moment, you see how things getting worse and worse, like flights getting cancelled, but that's a different thing. I just wanna talk about nowadays women have to have a kind of more respect to men. I mean, because not every male is a creep or stuff like. I don't find males creep that much. Oh, you know what? I'm done playing Dark Zone. Males nowadays are struggle to find relationship, find support, because women have even in economic crisis, women has a higher standards, which is really fucked up, and eventually that's so disgusting. And I think for now, women have to like, they have to be the, if for now that's gonna be fair because feminism destroy everything in dating. So basically, for now, women have to hunt the men because, bro, I can't spend nervous for women anymore. I'm so dumb, bro. Like, women's just like they don't care. So basically, you know. Alright, I'm gonna watch a different video. Uh, so, who are we gonna watch? So, we've got a loser maxing, but probably play it on later. I'll play it on later, right? Twitch is fucked, no, alright. Men aren't afraid, they have it checked out. We're gonna watch this one later. How to lose a woman. Alright, so we've got two videos to watch later. Men aren't afraid, they have it checked out. But there is a one person who is Keira Houghton, and this person gives a dating advice for males. What makes me laugh for is her advice are not the best. We discovered in the previous stream, by the way, and honestly, she gives the worst advice for men. So basically, what we're gonna do now is on this stream, we're gonna laugh. We're gonna try to roast her. So let me just pack up my stuff here. All right. Wait. Before I start roasting her, let's just check on the inventory. So this woman makes a entire YouTube. All right. So this woman makes a subscription. I mean, play subscription.
Today's video is about how to lose a woman.
All right. So today's a video. Come on. How to lose a woman's respect in 10 days. I wanna comment this thing, right? Because this person makes a advice for men how to pick up a woman, and surprisingly, this advice doesn't work all the time. I mean, it didn't even work. So, what we're gonna do now is once I sell everything here. Alright, I'm setting this one. Alright.
Abgemacht. Und jetzt schieben sie ab.
Alright,
Ich habe das Zeug, das ihnen das Leben rettet. Wollen Sie hier was kaufen oder nicht?
alright, and alright, I'm gonna mute myself, and we will listen to that woman. By the way, the name of the video, I was just gonna post it here.
Meine Zeit ist begrenzt.
I'm posting the name of the video, so you can watch it for yourself. Alright, enjoy.
Today's video is about how to lose a woman's respect in 10 days. Use with caution. And if you have any specific situation with a woman, or you just want a female's perspective, I do one-on-one consultations. The link's in the description. But let's jump right into it. One of the main ways to lose a woman's respect is to tolerate disrespect. Now, this goes for everybody in your life. If you let anybody disrespect you and you deliberately show you do not care, I mean, why would she respect you? That's a great way to lose a woman's respect. You shouldn't sit there and tolerate people being deliberately disrespectful to you. Having self-respect, having self-pride is being a man. Okay? You need to have some sort of dignity to be able to stand up for yourself without causing a scene. Okay? Now, there's a difference between being overly prideful and egotistical and having self-respect. Don't get walked all over. Don't let anyone walk all over you. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter if they're a family member. Doesn't matter if they're a girlfriend. Doesn't matter if they're your brother. Doesn't matter who it is. Don't let them walk all over you. Okay? All you gotta do is stand up for yourself, and she will have some sort of respect for you. But this video is about how to lose that respect. And a great way is to let people disrespect you, let people walk all over you. That's a great way for a woman to look the other way. Because who is she to tolerate that? She doesn't want that. Another way to deliberately have her lose respect for you is if you are so available for her. You're overly available for her. It means you're putting her before everything. Your life revolves around her. That's a great way to lose respect from a woman. Now, you might think, this is propaganda. What do you mean? A woman wants her to be the world of a man. You know, she wants to be the one revolved around him. You know, she wants to be the world in a man's world. Absolutely not. Okay? A woman respects a man who has a purpose besides her. Okay? She is like secondary. There's a primary and secondary purpose in anyone's life, man or woman. Okay? If you are putting her above everything, putting her above the gym, putting her above your work, putting her above your hobbies, putting her above your goals, she will see no future with you. She will see no future in your life. She will not respect you. She will not respect your choices. She will not respect your decisions. She needs to be able to understand and know exactly where you're headed in life for her to be able to respect you as a person. Now, will she tolerate it? Of course she'll tolerate it. For a moment of time, until she starts to realize, hey, this guy has no future. This guy is canceling plans for me right now, and I don't even like that. You know? A lot of women will convince you, propaganda you into thinking, yeah, I want to be the center of his world. Realistically, that is untrue. Realistically, that is not what we want, okay? A woman can fantasize, a woman can have an imagination. The funny thing about an imagination is it's not real, okay? We can have these fantasies of life that doesn't exist, okay? And that is part of our delusion. The fact that we can even be the center of anyone's world is unrealistic. Be the center of your own world and allow people in it, man and woman, okay? That is the second reason, or the second way to lose a woman's respect. A third way to lose a woman's respect is if you seek constant validation. All right, this goes for all my mama boys out there. Mama's boys, men who look for validation in other women, look for validation in their bros, look for validation, period. You need to have a self-confidence in yourself, okay? Because one thing about a woman is she will only be the mother of her own children, not of you, okay? And all the mama's boys out there, let go. Let go. If you want a girlfriend in your life, you're gonna have to let go of your mom's hand. Women will see through that within the first 5 seconds of meeting your mother. She will see it. And she will lose respect for you. Because you need to have your own sense of confidence. Why are you going out and validating yourself through other people? Now, before you try to justify this and tell me, oh, well, women do it, then you're no better than women. Okay? There's no need to try to compare yourself to women unless you are a woman. Why are you comparing your life to a woman's life? Okay? Be your own self-respectful man and confident man, and validate yourself. You look in the mirror yourself and you are satisfied with what you see. You are satisfied with what you're doing. The biggest way to build confidence in your life and anyone's life is by action. Okay? You can go to the gym every day and not even get results, but guess what? Guess what? You will still feel 50% more confident than if you didn't go to the gym. Why? Because you see yourself going to the gym. You can convince your mind that you are confident just by showing up. Just show up. And if you are showing up in the result of validation through other people, whoo, that is a great way to lose respect for a woman. Great way. Because why should she try to constantly validate you? That is exhausting. A woman, okay, we all have our insecurities. Okay, it's okay to be vulnerable with each other. It's okay to be honest about how we feel about ourselves. But you pick yourself up and you freaking get through it. You get through it like anybody else. A woman has to get through it. A man has to get through it. Okay? There's no justification for either. So that is another great way to lose respect from a woman. Another one is if you have no boundaries. This also goes for the mama boys, okay? If you allow people in your life to mix it up, if you allow people to tell you how to live your life and to genuinely disrespect you, just like how you could tolerate disrespect, having no boundaries means you have no self-assurance, you have no will. Okay, you have no strength in yourself. It means you let people in to manipulate you. Okay? Now, everyone's boundaries can be different. Now, you don't have to create this huge guard and have your guard up all the time. You don't have to build a wall to be this loner. That's not what I mean, okay? A woman wants you to be available for friendships, be available for relationships, but she doesn't want you to have your guard down in the result of being manipulated, the result of being used. A woman can tell when a man is being used. Okay, so this goes more into the fact of maybe your family. You can't create boundaries with your family. A family is a great example of people that could use you because it's blood, right? It's blood over anything, and your family might expect you to do things for them because they're blood with no benefit for you, just because, you know, you're my bro, you're my son. You should be doing these things for me. You should have a relationship with me. You should be coming over here and creating relationships with everyone that I know because you are my blood. You should be doing these things for me. When the reality is, you have your own life to live. You have your own flock to create. You have your own family to create. There comes a time and a place where blood is just blood at that point, okay? You can have your own life. You can make your own decisions. You can say no. You should be able to say no. So being a yes man, saying yes to everything, that's a great way to lose a woman's respect. Because what are you going to say no to? If you're saying yes to everything, Where is your decision making skills? Where is your observation? Where is your head at? Right? Are you even able to weigh what is good and what is bad? What is a priority? What is not? You know, you're constantly saying yes, you're putting a whole bunch of eggs in different baskets. Put all your eggs in your basket, and a woman will have respect for you. Okay? I'm not saying to fully be against your family. I'm not saying to be fully against anybody. But just learn to say no. Have a boundary. Be like, you know what? Not today. Okay? There's a healthy way to go about setting boundaries. People love to hate on boundaries. They love to say, oh, why are we creating It is a humane way to heal from any trauma, to heal from anything. Just create a boundary. Just be like, you know what? When I'm ready, I'll open the door. I'll open it. Not when someone is forcefully opening it, because it's my life, I control it. It's a great way to have a self-control in yourself. Okay? Another way to lose a woman's respect would be if you are too predictable. I'm going to be very concise with this one, because a lot of men, they confuse being predictable with being consistent. Okay, there's a difference. You can do the same things every day. It's okay. It's all right to be consistent. You can go to the same gym every day. You can eat the same food every day. You can go to work every day, right? That's consistency. But when you're predictable, being predictable is having no drive, having no ambition, purpose, right? If you are just doing the same lackluster things every day, and you're on this very low wavelength, this low frequency, you know, you're not really thinking ahead, you're not thinking about side quests, you're not trying to do anything new, you're not trying anything new, you're predictable. I hate to say it. When you're just doing the same thing every day and there's nothing driving you, there's no end goal, there's no side quest, there's nothing you're trying, then yeah, a woman's gonna lose respect for you, period. She doesn't want to live a life of repetition. And it's okay to be consistent, but don't be consistent enough to where you're just a robot and you're just feeling the same emotions every day. There's no excitement in your life. There's no, drive is the key word here. Drive. You need to have a drive to at least try something new. At least one thing in your week to keep the excitement going in your life, right? Have some social interaction, have some social activity, do something that creates a sense of belongingness in your life. If you're not doing anything like that, then yeah, your life is pretty boring. From a woman's lens, your life is boring as heck, and why should we have respect for that? We don't want that. You don't have to be the most flamboyant guy. You don't have to be the most party, a guy going to parties all the time. You don't need to be doing that. That's not the point here. The point is to have a true drive and a true purpose in what you're doing, and having some sort of end goal, having something you're working towards, so she can see, okay, he's being consistent because he wants this. He's being consistent because he is trying to get here. Do you see what I'm saying? If you have nothing like that, if you're not even verbally talking about it, that's a great way for a woman to lose respect for you. Okay? Another way is if you're not able to have the hard conversations. This is a maturity thing. If you want a relationship, if you want a woman to respect you, you need to be able to have the complicated conversations. You need to be able to talk about your family. You need to be able to have conversations about finances, your job, career, your future, about your future family. What do you want in your life? What are you working towards? What is your ambitions, right? Just like what I was saying before with being too predictable, this is where the hard conversation comes into play because she's going to want to talk about things with you. She's going to want to have these conversations to know where your head is at and to also explain where her head is at. She wants them to meet in the middle. And if you brush them off, right? If you say, oh, it's not important right now, we shouldn't talk about the future. Oh, yeah, my finances. If you act insecure about finances, if you act insecure about anything, oh, that's a great way for a woman to lose respect for you. You should be able to have the hard conversations. You should be able to have the hard conversations with yourself, right? And I'm not saying just to talk to yourself here. This is about maturity. It's about having a sense of self-identity and an understanding of who you are as a person. Hard conversations. You should be able to have the hard conversations with yourself here. This is about maturity. It's about having a sense of self-identity and an understanding of who you are as a person. If you don't even know what you want, bro, you don't even need to be in a relationship because what is the point? If you don't even know who you are, how can you expect anyone to get to know you? You need to have the hard conversations, not only with another person, but with yourself. You need to be able to acknowledge where you are presently and where you want to be. The past is in the past. The past is yesterday. That doesn't matter anymore. Now, there may be trauma from the past. There may be lessons to be learned from the past. But the only way to get past the past is by thinking presently. Not even in the future. The future creates anxiety. The past creates depression. The present creates awareness. Stay aware of yourself and understand where you are right now and have a humbleness to it. Be humble. Not everyone is exactly where they want to be right now. Let's be real. Let's be honest here, okay? You're not where you want to be. But the whole grand scheme of things, it's all about how you see yourself right now. Where's your confidence at? Where's your identity? What is your focus? What are your priorities? You need to be able to have these conversations, or it's a great way for a woman to lose respect for you. She will see you as a child. She will see you as insecure. And if you're not even able to have these conversations now, you definitely won't in the future. And she won't be there because she's gone. She lost respect. She's gone. Bye-bye. Not her problem. The last way for a woman to lose respect for you is if she is your purpose. Let me say this again. If she is your whole goal, if your main goal in life is to get with a woman, marry her, and that's that, she doesn't feel like you have your own identity. She feels like your identity is tied to her. And in a way, without her, she is responsible for you. Plain and simple. That's how a woman would feel. She would feel responsible for your emotions, for your decisions, for everything in your life because you created her as a purpose. You made her your purpose. If you have no other purpose in life, if you don't want to help others, if you don't want to create anything, if you don't want to have some sort of vision for yourself, that's a great way for a woman to lose respect for you. Don't have a woman be the center of your world. It's okay to have her part of your world. Start thinking in a new perspective of that, right? You allow her in your world, and she allows you in her world. And together, you create a merged one. Especially when you become married and have children and have a family, that is the point. You don't just jump into someone's world and that's your whole identity. That is quite literally waiting for an identity crisis. That's how midlife crisis happens. Did you know that? Midlife crisis is when you have postponed your true identity to the point where you're 50 something, 60 something years old and you're like, wait, hold up. Who am I? I have been jumping into another person's world and revolving them around me, or having myself revolve around them, that I need to make a change. I need to do something about it. Don't get a midlife crisis. Don't lose a woman's respect. But if you wanted to lose a woman's respect, these are great ways, because you definitely will lose her respect. Focus on yourself, okay? Focus on your visions. Now, this is so easily said than done, but that's the only way. You need to have confidence. In today's day and age, people love to normalize being alone. Oh, I'm okay with being alone. Who the heck wants to be 70 years old and alone? Who the heck wants to be 80 years old and alone? Who wants to go around the world alone? If that's okay with you, to each their own, right? But there's a strength in having your own identity while also allowing someone else's identity in your life. There's a strength in that. There's also a strength in actually keeping respect for yourself and having other people respect you. It's part of being a man, part of being a woman. If you aren't even able to be around other people and you don't want to be around other people, that tells me more about you than anything. The whole point of life is socializing. The whole point of life is being human, having connection. If you don't want to connect with anyone, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with this world if we're able to just lose respect so easily. So, yeah, this video was how to lose a woman's respect in 10 days. And I hope this video helped you. See you guys next time.
Alright, let me just say my opinion of this. There is a things that catch, and actually there is a true, kind of true, a little true about her words. Yes, when you allow yourself to be to like to when you get led to be like disrespected, you just nobody's gonna respect you once you let someone disrespect you. And that actually is really bad. So what you so you have to speak up to yourself all the time, which it's crazy. Yeah, I know life works like that, but that's it. What else? Oh, and put women into the pedestal. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually makes a lot of points and respect. I mean, she says something like, but the rest of it is, I'm just tragic, bro. For example, let me start with the gym. I am a guy with six pack. I mean, I don't want to show my face now. I mean, you probably can see on previous videos my face, but yeah, eventually you won't see it because I'm just a bit of shy and stuff. But what I can tell is this person talks about, even if you don't have a progress at the gym, you can still like be confident. Like, what the hell is that, bro? I'm going to the gym because I want like some kind of progress, right? I don't I don't I don't waste time. I'll just I want to be healthy. I want to do my best. That's the different part is about the male loneliness. Well, why males yourself? Well, here is the simple fact.
Noch ein glücklicher
Men
Kunde.
want to be alone because society smashes out. In 2020, that stupid feminism took over,
Machen Sie es gut.
over and
Besser
over
Sie als ich.
the damn theme. What else happened? Well, do you wanna see? Do you wanna tell you? Oh, it's a lot of things. Anyway, the most bad thing is, men's are checked out because we are no longer want to play your games, women's. We want to like, we want to do our own stuff. We want we prefer loneliness because loneliness gives us more opportunity of like, let's just say, gives us more opportunity for to be feel fantastic. Let me just stop this one for a while. It gives us peace. It gives us everything. If you just don't have a girlfriend nowadays, why people should get married? Well, marriage is completely wrecked and scam. Marriage is just a stupid bullshit that will cause the males money and stuff. Marriage the more marriage is, it's completely destructive for the man. A man doesn't give a fuck about giving some woman's attention or stuff. So yeah, I'll rather just stay single, and I don't care. I have my own boundaries and stuff. Yes, you have a point, but eventually you're just nah. Wait, can I check something? So yeah, nobody cares. Wait, hold on, I wanna check something. Oh, okay. Let's see what is the other. Wait. If you're a nice guy, no. Alright. Hmm. Alright, so what we're gonna watch is Silent Men Aren't Afraid. They have checked out.
Imagine being able to.
Alright, I'm just gonna pause. I'm just gonna pause this video here. Gonna watch this while I play Chivalry 2. But before that, wait, before that, I will play something. I will probably try to do something, which is basically I'm gonna like turn on the window. Yeah, gonna turn off the window, and because I wanna play some Avakin live, where things gonna happen. basically, yeah. Second monster. Fuck. Wait, let me just turn off the sound of this shit. Yeah, this music is goofy. Alright, you're an Avacon, alright, fuck. Alright, I'm just. Alright, hi, full screen, Windows, okay, resolution. So let me just no capture. So window, Avakin Live. Yeah, check this out. No. Well, gonna move. I just wanna stream a bit of Avakin Live. So window, full screen, Control S, OBS, add source, display capture, which will be automatic. Alright, display, no display. Remove. Alright, add source, window capture, Avakin Live. Yeah, that's alright. How is the things working on my stream? No, it doesn't show anything. Well, fuck's sake. We're gonna do something else. Alright, that's source. Windows. Move. Right, that's source. I try to. Move. Try to do something. Oh, game capture. Wait. Full screen. Property. Control S. Bro, why doesn't catch that game? Is it here for because again? No. Property. Remove. So I have to remove this one. Fuck's sake. Add source. No. Remove. fuck's sake. Guys. Oh, finally. I just quality medium. Full screen window. Alright, can you... Alright, so... Okay, that's my avatar, by the way. Dan Boger AWA. You wonder why it's like that, cause I don't know. So basically, capture my screen. Alright, here we go. Oh, let me just put my headphones. And okay, can you hear me? Wait, what? Wait, probably. Hold on a second. I'll play the sound. And I need to, fuck's sake. Alright. Alright, that should be fine. Alright. Alright, that should be good. That should be good. Should be good. So, we got a day 3. We got a 500 Ava coins. Which 17 minutes. Oh, in that case, I have to sell some stuff. Yeah. So what I try to do is to buy the, what is it called? The Mexican house. No, it's a house in Morocco and stuff. The good things about playing Avakin Life on PC, because I'm really proud of the company that does it, is because you just like you're honestly you just put yourself into stuff, like you just say that you're how to say, you can move with WACD. So let me just go there. Venue, movie studio, Spyland, Oxford Academia, Avakin High Campus. Just go here. Let's see what's going on here. So it's going like 3,345 kilobytes. So yeah, that's gonna be. Alright. So we've got a Spanish people talking over here. And you see some Bulgarian. Ya me gasto mi 2 pesos de inglés. Hell no, puta madre. That's how I know Spanish. What's going on here? Oh, that's the Avakin. Damn Bulgaria there. You always strike me as the creative type. Have you been on the art studio? If not, you should check out. Think you will like it. I can't even go here. What the hell? Well, where's our studio? So, Avakin classroom. Oh, okay, I should wait. Probably is that one. And another servers here. Oh. Oh. What the hell is going on? Get the area. Let me just take my. Let me claim my reward. Oh, well done. You claim all possible rewards from my sands. Right. Photo draw. Interact. Bro, here's my drawing over here. Alright. Alright guys, forget about my dark humor, bro. Oh my god, bro. I'm sorry. My humor is so dark. What do you want? Alright. Why I got stuck here? Alright. Alright, nice bomb. nice bomb plan. Oh hell no. No bro, I'm fucking leaving this place. Fucking classroom. Let's see what's happening in the classroom. Guys, I'm just joking. All this purpose is joking. Alright, what's happening here? Hell, bro, what the hell is happening here? What is this messy classroom over here? Incel is mad. What the hell is going on here? Let me just claim this reward. Alright, Incel is mad. What's going on? What is going on here? Watch up to my fuck. Bro, how are these fucking Americans over here? What the hell is going on? Hold up. Bro, this place ain't fuck. Hell no, bro. I'm not getting back here. Fucking hypo. Let's go to the pool. What is happening on the pool? I'm having another monster. I have the green one. Let me just claim the gift. Alright, that's fun. I just jump. Die. Pew! I was just gonna case down join. Yo. Bro. Coming from Agartha, bro. Like, this is me when I drink 3 white monsters for today. Like, what the hell? Bro, what the? Fuck this shit, I'm leaving. place. That's gonna be the last monster I drink. Oh, they change the sounds of the diamonds. Oh, bro, thanks. Any chats over here? Nobody actually chatting here. Alright. Alright. Okay, stay away from him. I'm here to protect you from him. You okay, girls? Tell me you. Bro, what the fuck? I'm talking like American. What is going on? Alright, you know, fuck this shit. I'm going to farm. my character, I try to make it as like Dante wanna be. We got a bug. Oh shit. Mm. You wonder why I play Everking Life? It's fun. Chick. Bro, why nobody's chatting here? Nobody's chatting. Why you don't chat? Why no one's watch my streams? Thanks. Alright. I'm gonna do some here. Chill. Oh my god, this game's crazy. Pomoci kupasti pari. Oh, I speak in Bulgarian. What I can buy with this money? play safe for this one. Alright. I took my reward. Is the shop. Oh, 150. So we're gonna make some dailies. I'm going, yeah. Action. Alright, going, yeah. Bro, uh-oh. I don't see a reason to do so. Wait, actually I see. Hmm. just gonna make simple. Just to have my own entry and just to get my daily done. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, just gonna do. No, not doing that. Not doing that. Shit. No, that's for me. Display. All right. I will be back in a couple of minutes. Alright guys, I'm back and we're still streaming. So what we're gonna do, just gonna move this one and I'm gonna what we're gonna do now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna see men aren't afraid. They have it checked out. That's what we're gonna listen to.
Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
So,
Describe what you
It seems.
alright. So, so I'm gonna play Chivalry 2, and I will leave you with that woman talking about why men are checked out. And then after we watch this video, we're gonna comment why this happened, and yeah, basically. Oh, yeah. Right. I'll leave with that woman. She talks about why men are checked out. I'm gonna post the name of the video here, and we'll see you later. Peace.
Seems that in our day and age, in our current society, it seems that in our day and age, in our current society, it is always the men that are drawing the shorter end of the stick. And I say this very consciously because I also understand that the liberation of women in the West was also very necessary. It was something that had to happen. But what I do feel is, as this has happened over the last couple of decades, is that this pendulum has swung too far to the side of women. And in that shift, men, in many ways, have ended up standing in the shadows of women instead of standing beside them. And this is where the deeper issue begins. Because this shift has not created balance or understanding. It has created disconnect, misunderstanding, and a gap between modern men and women. We see that masculine and feminine is completely disturbed and non-existent.
I would like to apologize. Unfortunately, my internet is not one of the best, and yeah. So yeah, we're just connected again.
And it is not because women have become so strong. It is because women have been raised to live most of their days, most of the time. They have been taught this in order to survive in our oppressive societies. And as a result, both men and women are now struggling to understand one another, struggling to find their place in relationships, struggling to understand what they even contribute to relationships or society at large. But before I dive deeper into this video, make sure to like and subscribe to support me on my mission to let men be heard and help women wake up. Now, what makes this issue even more complex is that while a lot has changed how we relate to women in our society today, very little has changed in how we relate to men. Women are now seen as what we see as equals. They make their own money, they have their own careers, they have their own independence and freedom. And as I always say, that is something that we should celebrate in women as well as in men. But at the same time, we're still expecting modern men to be protectors, to be providers, to be the stable force in relationships and society. So expectations on men remain, while appreciation and understanding for men did not evolve. And one of the biggest areas where this becomes visible is in emotional expression and emotional openness. Because our society has become much more accepting of women expressing their emotions, their thoughts, their opinions, and their ideas. But for modern men, oftentimes this same space and same treatment doesn't exist. In many ways, men are told to open up, they're told to be expressive. But our society doesn't always accept it or receive that very well. From a young age, many boys are being raised to be more soft, more open, more expressive, more in touch with their emotions, to be less aggressive, less assertive, to show less masculine essence in a way. While emotional awareness is very important in the development of a child and a person, we also have to ask ourselves, by raising boys this way,
Excuse me, sir, how old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
are we allowing young men to express themselves as they would want to express themselves as men? We need to understand that men and women do not express feelings and emotions in the same way. And after the rise of feminism, in the wake of feminism, we have sort of adopted the mindset that the way women express emotions and thoughts is the way that men should express them as well. And when we, as a society, are expecting men to express their feelings and their emotions and thoughts as women express them, we are disconnecting these men from their masculine core. We're basically not accepting them for being men. We are basically telling men that the way that they would naturally express their emotions and their feelings is not acceptable. And instead, we are imposing a model on men of how we expect them to express themselves that does not work for them. And then something very contradictory happens, because when a man doesn't express himself the way that society expects him to express his emotions and feelings, it can actually start working against him. And not always, but often enough, men become aware of this risk. Because even though we're all more woke and aware, also as women, vulnerability expressed by a man, a masculine man, may still reduce the attraction that a woman feels for him. And this is something many men have actually experienced in their own lives. And if you have, feel free to share your experience below so other people can actually see that this is a real issue. These men have opened up, they showed their vulnerable side, they expressed themselves, and it blew up in their face. It started working against them, and people lost respect for them. And once this shift happens, there's loss of respect or loss of accepting them for their feelings and emotions. For many men, this feels irreversible, and this feels like a huge blow to who they are as a man, because we need to understand that respect is one of the highest valued things for men. So as a society, we have created this double bind for modern men. On one hand, we're telling men to open up emotionally, and when they do, they're at risk of losing the most important thing for men in relationship, which is stability and respect. So what do you think that most men do? They stay closed. They protect their heart, or at least they're very careful of it. And this is exactly where I think that we need to change our language about this. Because we often say, and you can find it everywhere online, that they say men are emotionally unavailable. But I don't believe that is entirely accurate. I believe that many men are emotionally cautious. And it's simply because they have learned that opening up emotionally isn't always safe for them. They have learned that their vulnerability oftentimes can be misunderstood or judged or work against them. Whether this is in relationships, in family relationships, in friendships, in romantic relationships, or even in professional relationships. And as I mentioned before, Especially in intimate romantic relationships, this really becomes an issue for men to open up vulnerably because men know and we know that instinctively women are still looking for a strong, stable, masculine, oftentimes grounded partner. But at the same time, men are still expected to open up in a way that might compromise all of these aspects that I before mentioned that this woman is looking for. So it is actually putting his relationship with her at risk. And this is creating tension for both of the people involved in this connection. Now, when a woman is deeply grounded in her feminine energy, what I call that she has a masculine spine, because I believe that even a feminine woman has a masculine spine. And what I mean by this is that she has inner strength, inner stability, and control over her emotions. Only then, a true feminine embodied woman who is balanced in her feminine and in her masculine can hold this space for a man to hold his vulnerability. And she can do this without losing respect and admiration for her man. She can support him.
My name is Alex.
She can nurture him. She can guide him during the time that he is trying to find his way. But when that inner stability is not there in a woman, when she's not embodied both in her feminine and masculine energy, when she doesn't have that strong, stable masculine spine, because she will then feel that she has to carry both her emotions and his emotions. And oftentimes, in a woman who's not fully embodied in her feminine energy and balanced in her masculine and feminine energy, that can feel frightening. That can feel like this man cannot protect you. And this can create a loss of attraction and a loss of safety for her in the connection with this man. And men are very aware to the shift in dynamic, even if not many men might be able to articulate this. Deep down, they know this. Deep down, oftentimes men have experienced this in relationship with women. So what do men do instead of opening up? They protect themselves. They keep their emotions inside. They keep this stoic mindset. They hold back, they suppress, and they keep strong at surface level. And let's be clear about one thing. It's not that men don't feel emotions. Men feel emotions very deeply. It is just that they're choosing to keep them inside. And we all know what happens when we keep emotions stuck inside. It festers. It will come out at some point. If not in depression or burnout, it will come out in illness. Over time, this creates deep issues in men. Because when emotions are not expressed, when they are suppressed, they accumulate, they build up, and eventually they will explode. And this is why we oftentimes see men at later stages in their life who are overburdened, who are depressed, who feel lost in life. And it's not because they're incapable of feeling. And it's not because they're incapable of expressing it. It is because they have never had a safe space to express it. They have learned all their life that they should perform roles instead of expressing their emotions. To be what society and relationships expect them to be instead of being who they truly are. And this only reinforces that feeling that so many men have today, that instead of being a human being, they are a function or a utility of society, of relationships. Many men feel that they're being valued for what they provide instead of who they are. And there's another layer to this that no one is talking about. Because when a man feels like he cannot offer the stability in relationship, he will oftentimes choose to not engage in a relationship at all. Especially masculine men don't want to have people rely on them when they don't feel that their ship is stable. They don't want to take a woman on board. They don't want to take children on board when they feel like they cannot sail the ship to a safe, stable destination. When there's holes in the ship, when the boat is sinking, he would rather step back and not risk taking someone else down. with his ship. And this is why we see so many men disconnecting from intimate relationships in this day and age. And I have experienced this myself, that I was dating someone who felt that his ship wasn't stable, that I could not lean on him. And he decided to not take me on board of his ship. A masculine man will not risk involving a woman in his life if his life is not stable. And I'm not saying that there's not men who do that, but these men are not very consciously aware of the effect that it might have on other people. Oftentimes later on, they will end the relationship. And I've seen it more often in dating, that you do find men who want to connect, who want that intimacy, but they don't feel secure enough to lead, or for a woman or other people to lean on them. So they disconnect from relationships altogether. And from the outside, this can look like disinterest or emotional unavailability. But in reality, it is responsibility and restraint. And I think that we don't understand that, especially not as women. So when we look at modern men, we don't just see men who are closed off or pulled back. We see men who are caught in a double bind in our current society and what we expect of men. Men now find themselves in situations where expressing themselves causes real risk, and where suppressing themselves creates real cost and loss. And this is where I believe that women in the West need to develop more awareness and understanding of what men are going through in our modern days. Not to blame, not to judge, and not to criticize men for maybe not knowing where to go or what action to take or being less emotionally open, but to understand where men stand and the double bind that men are caught in our day and age. I still think it's important that we create this space and this understanding for men to feel safe enough to open up without judgment, without being criticized, where their openness is being met with respect and understanding. It's being welcomed instead of being rejected, where vulnerability is not seen as a weakness, but as a moment of trust that's been offered to us by a man who truly wants to share that with us, who trusts us, who wants to connect on a deeper level, to become aware that men are not emotionally unavailable. Men are emotionally cautious. They're aware because they know the risks, they have experienced the risks, and many men are caught in a double bind. When they do one thing, it's not right, and when they do the other thing, it's not right. And until that changes, until we become aware of that, especially as women, the gap between men and women will only increase. Men will feel more isolated, and women feel more confused because men are not opening up to them. But when we learn to understand what men are going through, we can become aware that we can meet a man's vulnerability with openness, with understanding, with respect, instead of judgment and instead of losing respect for them. We need to understand that men are human. They deserve as much equal treatment as women do. And that also means as much understanding for their emotional expression and the tough times that they go through. Because many men are struggling in our day and age. Many men are keeping this inside. This is why we see so many burnouts or depression or even suicide in young men. So I think together we need to become aware of this to create that space of understanding for men. Men are humans just as we are, and they have as much right and as much need to express themselves. So I hope that this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel because it really helps for my videos and my message to reach a broader audience. If you enjoy the videos that I make, there's a couple of ways to support me, and you can find them in the pinned comment or in the description box down below. But the easiest way is to sign up for the mailing list of the book that I'm writing called The Shadow Side of Feminism, wherein I explore if feminism has actually cast a shadow side over modern men and what we can do to rectify that and find each other again in healthy balance and connection. If you found this video interesting, I would suggest that you check out this video right here next because it perfectly aligns with this topic. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Alright, so here's my opinion about this video. And to be fair, alright, here's my opinion of the video. So, men nowadays are really cooked, they're really wrecked. As you've seen on, as we heard our opinion, we found out how men are treated nowadays, because of feminism and all this independent women's. Here's the truth, and I think people gonna hate me for this, but women's cannot be independent, men's can, and that's really controversial, I know. And this is because the nature is just creates like that. Men's can handle everything for their own, while women's always need help. When women get lonely, they get so fucking depressed. It's the nature. I mean, you can't change it. While men can handle everything, you know. Women cannot. This is the nature. Women's are meant to survive. Like, they cannot survive without men. That's the thing. So the modern feminism destroys women's value, destroying actual females' independence. Now women's are crying for men to come back. They're begging them to come back, but eventually, women's nowadays they just prefer to play with the men, use them as a optional. I mean, having a kids and stuff used to be good, but because of the marriage laws that took over, it was just like and yes, men's can live alone, they can, and that's why a lot of men's backflash feminism, backflash everything, and feminism actually fails women's really so bad, you know. And oh shit, I have to defend the relics. Sorry, I'm just a bit focused on the game. Feminism made women suffer more than actual, you know. So why women's does that? The answer is, it's like you just modern feminism destroys everything. Men's nowadays they just check out everything. I mean, we just don't wanna date women anymore. Including me. Because if I date a woman, I always need a game. I always need to do something better. I mean, I don't like that. I wanna live my fucking life. And example, I want to stream, want to play video games, want to do everything. I don't have an energy to have a children. That's all, you know. So for me, having a woman is, for me, marry or stuff. For me to marry or stuff. Bro, get away. Oh, that was a nice kill. Oh shit. Yeah, so once, I mean, for example, if I wanna ask how, if, nowadays when I try to talk with women, you know, I'm just getting tired easily. Like, I just don't want to. I just don't want to like. I just don't want to. I just don't want to talk with women. Like, for me, dating is that. What is this about? I'm not voting for Balmonk. Fail. Well. Alright, is that fair? I'm gonna protect you. Oh shit, died. Well, play on. After this game, I'll play a different game and I will play a different video. Cause I will play the Division and you know, I just don't want to like. But yeah, playing on my Xbox Series S is the best thing you can do. So yeah. Bro, get out of here. What the hell? Tiger got killed by tiger. I'll play Able after this. Therefore, for like well, Laser did a lot of kills. Alright, start playing the Division, and I'll play a different video. Alright, let's watching something inside Day, so we're gonna watch the unfair adventure to having zero support of a guy who actually helps me level up in life. So yeah, shout out to Musa.
Let's talk about having no support, bro. Having no support can be your biggest unfair advantage. And I'm gonna have to make this video quick because it's about to get dark. But most guys don't have support and they look at it as a disadvantage, right? They don't have a mentor, they don't have a killer brotherhood, they don't even have family members that support their vision. Forget family members that support their vision. They don't even have family members that don't get in their fucking way. Or that don't fucking suck their energy and drain their energy like energy vampires. And so most guys look at having no support as a negative thing. But no support can be your biggest advantage if you know how to use it, if you apply a reframe. You see, everything I've done, I live in Bali now, I'm in front of my own house. I moved to Thailand, lived in Thailand for half a year, lived in Dubai, was all on the back of no support. And I'll tell you how you can do the same and how it's a huge advantage. You have to understand that if you have no support, and this is a little reframe, you also don't have something called an identity prison. Because just think about it, bro. If you have a lot of support, the people that have a lot of support, they also have a lot of people that have certain perceptions of them. Like they know their old story, they kind of know who they are. So just think about this. How difficult is it for this person to then recreate themselves into a completely new identity? Without those supporters looking at him like, oh, he's being fake. Right? Or without those supporters then trying to draw him back to his old identity. Because they're supporting his old identity. They're not supporting his new identity. They don't know his new identity. His new identity is going to make them uncomfortable. And so this reframe really frees you up to the possibilities. You can just recreate your own story. Those people don't support you anyways. You can just recreate your own story. And personally, I recommend moving out of your environment. Move out to Thailand. You don't need a lot of money. Move to Thailand. Move to one of these cheap places with a journal. Reinvent yourself. Who are you right now? What are your current habits? Who's that new version of yourself? What are his habits and standards? Then take his standards in the here and now. Adopt him. His body language, however the fuck his body language is. If he sits like this, with his legs all the way open, like Doflamingo from One Piece, fucking do it, bro. You can reinvent yourself. There's no identity prison. And so that's a huge unfair advantage of having no support. The second unfair advantage is that you can afford to embarrass yourself. You can afford to look fucking stupid. If you want to start your personal brand on social media or post on Instagram or whatever it is, you can afford to look stupid. Because you don't have any support anyways. Just think about this, bro. I know so many guys that are popular or that used to be popular in high school, the high school jocks, that have trouble blowing up on social media. And you probably know the same. You probably know some guys in the past that used to be popular. Where are they right now? They have trouble blowing up their social media because of support. People know them. People have this perception of them. So it's very difficult for them to embarrass themselves. Whereas if you look at the self-improvement space or the masculinity space, just look around. Honestly, what do you see? You see a lot of guys, most guys in the self-improvement masculinity space, they used to be fucking nerds. They didn't come from having a lot of support or people knowing them. And so a lot of these guys, if you look at them objectively, they also embarrass themselves many times over. Right? And so that's what it takes. That's what it takes to become successful anyways. To successful, you need to fucking embarrass yourself, humiliate yourself. Get rich or get humiliated trying. Right? And if you have no support, you can go fucking kamikaze mode. Take yourself out in the process. Right? As if you're flying a plane, kamikaze, like Japan in World War II. Boom, blow yourself up. And you respawn again. You can go again and again. You have no support, bro. You have no people looking at you, judging you. As I said, so many popular guys I know, if you go to their comment section on Instagram, they have fire emojis, people clapping for them, people kissing their ass. But their page doesn't get anywhere because there's too much support, too many eyeballs. It's this identity prison. They can't crash out like you can. So recognize it. Recognize the advantages. You can recreate your own identity, your own story without any judgment. And you can just crash out again and again. Fail, no problem. Respawn endlessly. And there's one more thing about support that you need to know as well, which is that most support you think is support is not even real support. Like, just think about it. I just said, like, they have a lot of people, those popular jocks, they have a lot of people clapping in their comments, posting fire emojis, supporting them. That's not real support because it's fucking paralyzing them. Flattery is not real support. Flattery is the opposite of real support. You know, I remember when I went out to Thailand, I was killing it with faceless YouTube channels. That was my business model. And then I got like 100K subs, 1 million subs, 100K subs, and I got these play buttons. You can order like these YouTube play buttons, these trophies. And I would order them to the Netherlands because that's where my home address was. That's where my girl lived at the time. We lived together, but I went out solo. That's how fucking dedicated I was to my goals, bro. I went out solo, right? Anyways, I ordered these play buttons to my house in the Netherlands. Then I went back to the Netherlands, and my girl had a friend over. And that her friend saw these play buttons, and she came up to compliment me. She was like, "Whoa, Musa, that's really impressive, Musa. Oh, that's really good." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's no big deal. Yeah, I was just deflecting. And she's like, she grabbed my hand, and she was like, "Hey, you know you can be proud of yourself, right?" And I always say this, in my mind, I just thought, bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, bitch. You don't know where I'm going. Don't fucking give me this flattery bullshit, holding my hand, telling me, hey, you know you can be proud. What the fuck are you trying to do? And this sounds super aggressive, but you have to think about this for a second. Flattery is no real support. Because what happens when someone gives you flattery? You start believing your own hype. You start to believe you're better than the work you've done, or maybe you start to slow down or be really proud of yourself. Like, yeah, I'm really proud of myself. You lower the standards. Nothing good comes from fucking flattery, bro. Like, just think about it, bro. If you have an enemy and you want to set up your enemy, you don't set up your enemy by telling him, hey, you're never going to accomplish this, you're never going to accomplish that. That's just giving him extra fuel. If anything, that's support. That's giving him extra fuel. If you want to set up your enemy, or if you want to be like a fucking devil, you get a girl to seduce this guy, and you get this girl to fucking flatter him. You get this girl to tell him, hey, baby, Oh, you already work so hard. Hey, baby, let's go to the cinema. Hey, baby, can you slow down? Hey, baby, you should be proud of yourself. Hey, baby. That fucking shit, that's poison. That's what flattery is. That's not fucking real support. And so I'm saying this to say, what you think real support is not real support. You know what real support is? Real support is, imagine you're playing a video game. You're playing a fighting game. And you can click on a button, like the R1 button, and a support character jumps in. Real support is if this support character either attacks the enemy with you, or he heals you, or she heals you, or she gives you resources, like a woman cooking for you, or giving you a massage or whatever, or he puts you in contact with someone, like this more in real life, he puts you in connections with someone, that's support. You know what else support is? Support is if someone accepts and understands that you're gonna make mistakes, that you're gonna reinvent yourself. The friends I have right now, whenever I make mistakes or whatever, they just sit back, right? And I do the same with them. If they crash out, let's say one of my friends has a personal brand, just an example, and he does some wild shit online. I'm not gonna say anything, bro. It's his journey. I know he's gonna draw out some lessons from that, and he's gonna learn. That's real fucking support. People that allow you, give you the space to reinvent yourself without judgment. Flattery is no fucking support, bro. Anyways, this is why having no support is a huge unfair advantage. If you reframe it into seeing that you have no identity prison, you can just recreate your own story, recreate your own identity, step into that version. And that's it. You have a huge unfair advantage, but you have to reframe it. You're out of the identity prison. You can go kamikaze, crash out, embarrass yourself again and again and again. No one gives a fuck, bro. Having no support is a huge unfair advantage. Having support is a good thing. But that support will come once you reinvent yourself. Those killer brothers will come once you become that person. You will attract them. So recognize, you have a huge advantage. The only support you need is self-belief. And that's it. I'm out. You do have support, by the way. Far from weak, baby. We are far from weak. I'm out.
Davi Vanity is a name.
Alright, here's the firstly something wrong's happened on my PC overly. I don't even do stuff that much. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm completely agree with this guy. Like, this is Musa. It's called the best friend of Far From Weak or stuff. And eventually, Far From Weak is a AI channel that brings me to life, and most of the how to say it. Let's just say most of the life lessons I get from Far From Weak, which actually helps me in life very good. And I'm so thankful. And yeah, so I play something that isn't that dateable advice, but it's just more life force advice. And as a guy who always get cherry, because in the college people just call me, oh my god, he's so handsome and some stuff. Bro, I'm getting annoyed, and I think this one has a very good explanation. So this guy has a whole point of that situation, and I have no comment because I'm 100% agree with this guy. Anyway, I will play you some woman that actually she show a mental health, so her channel is Dale's Diary, and wanna find the video which is like modern day, feels so performative. It's exhausting.
Something I've been.
So I'm just gonna firstly pause. That's gonna be the last video because it's what is the time? It's almost 2 a.m. and I'll probably have to go sleep because I've got stuff to do anyway. But tomorrow I'll get back. So that's the video we're gonna watch, and yes, we're starting from the beginning. So I'm getting mute myself, and yeah, that's gonna be the last video we're gonna watch for tonight.
Been thinking about lately is how performative modern dating feels, and honestly, I have no desire at all to pretend to be someone. Something I've been thinking about lately is how performative modern dating feels, and honestly, I have no desire at all to pretend to be someone or something that I'm not, just to appear more likable. And I think this has some to do with why dating again feels so daunting to me. Going on a date, it really is starting to feel less about actually forming a connection with a person and more like you're putting on a performance. I've been on my own for quite a while now, and it's not because I don't want love. I do want to find love, but the idea of putting myself out there again, it's exhausting even just to think about because I feel like my energy right now is very limited. I have a lot of health stuff that I've been dealing with. Sorry, a robin. A robin just landed on my windshield and it looked at me. You guys, that robin just looked right into my soul right after I brought up my health issues. Is that a sign?
Base 44 Super Agent is the catalyst for my growth. It's going to take me to the next level.
My agent, her name is Amber.
My super agent's name is Pluto.
Stanley Startup.
Millie Marketing.
Trixie. Well, I decided to call him Slatam because he does all the scores for me.
I just asked a simple question. How do we monetize this? And my super agent put together a 1-year revenue model working on my behalf 24/7.
The research that once took me days can now be done within minutes.
Take that research and turn it into a YouTube script, a blog post, and post it on my website.
Everything from marketing to strategy and to real execution.
Super agent is managing my entire campaign. Just work out of the box.
Anyway, as I was saying, my energy right now feels very limited, and I don't want to be pouring myself into situations or people who aren't genuine. But at the same time, if I want to find love, I'm going to have to put myself out there again. I'm going to have to take a risk. It's just hard for me to open up and be vulnerable with someone who I don't know, someone whose intentions I don't know. But I guess that's just how it works when you first meet someone. You don't know them. You don't know what kind of a person they are. And first dates. First dates make me so anxious to the point that I feel like I have avoided going on dates. Especially if it's a date with someone I've never met before, like someone from a dating app. When you meet someone in person, even if you don't know them that well, you have a feel for them, you know. You've heard their voice before, you've actually spoken to them, whereas on a dating app, that's not always the case. Sometimes you're just going into it completely blind. There's just so much uncertainty when you go on a first date, and I am someone who really doesn't like not knowing what to expect. I am very much the kind of person who likes to know what I'm getting into. I like to have a plan. And for those of you who don't know this, I've taken that personality test. What is it? MBTI. I've taken it twice now over the last few years, and each time I get INTJ, so if you know anything about that, maybe some of this makes sense. Something that I've learned about myself, though, is that my intuition is actually really good. So even when my brain is going a million miles per hour and I'm overthinking, something in the background just knows. I've been really good at picking up on things that don't feel right, like if something feels off, and that has protected me from several potentially very dangerous situations. But even though dating feels very intimidating to me, I'm trying to remind myself that it's okay to not always be in complete control of a situation. It's okay to go with the flow a little bit more. I'm just naturally a very introverted, reserved type of person, and honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good to be selective with who you let in because not everybody deserves access to you. But I would say one of the biggest things that has made the thought of going on another date feel so intimidating and daunting to me is just how performative dating can feel. Like, it just doesn't feel natural anymore. And you know, I've caught myself playing into this before too. In the past, especially when I was younger, maybe I try to make myself seem more extroverted, more interesting, more whatever, you know? Saying things a certain way, acting a certain way, to be perceived better. And you know, it's subtle. It can be very subtle at first, and you might not even realize that you're doing it. It's like instead of sharing who you are, it's more like you're presenting a version of yourself, a version that you think will be more likable, and it starts becoming less like actually getting to know someone and more like pitching yourself, more like selling an image. I'm 25 years old now, and I'm just here like, what are we doing? How are we supposed to develop a genuine connection if we're not even being real from the start? When it comes to dating, if you don't make a strong impression right off the bat, well, then good luck. People lose interest very, very fast. A lot of the time, I feel like people aren't really given a fair chance. And because of things like dating apps, it's so easy to just move on to the next, keep swiping, looking for the better option. And for someone like me, someone who's more introverted, naturally more reserved, it's pretty easy for me to be overlooked. I've had people think that I wasn't interested in them or that I was boring. And you know, it couldn't be further from the truth. I have so many things that I could talk a person's ear off about for hours on end, but because I'm more naturally reserved, you don't always get that side of me right off the bat. And then when it comes to first dates, there's also small talk. I really don't like small talk. I crave conversations with depth. Small talk could just feel so surface level, so scripted, almost like we're just going through the motions. But I also realize that's a bit of a contradiction within myself. Like, that probably sounds pretty hypocritical because I want depth, but then I also struggle to open up. It's like, how can you want deep conversation if you're not actually giving that yourself?
If you ever wanted to start your own clothing brand, but you didn't want to buy inventory, handle shipping, or risk wasting your money, this video is for you. Today, I'm showing you a platform that lets you design, launch, and sell real products in just a few clicks. No warehouse and no upfront inventory, so there's no stress. Hey y'all, it's your girl Shay.
But I think that there definitely is a balance, and even though I am a bit more shy and reserved, I definitely can get there with people. I have had first dates where maybe in the beginning of the date, it started off a bit slow. I came across as pretty shy, but the person gave me a chance. Like, obviously on a first date, you shouldn't be expected to share your entire life story. But, you know, like I said, there should be a bit of a balance, and that is something that I'm working on while also staying true to myself. Another thing that I really hate about the first date or the first few dates is how it truly can feel like a job interview. Like, you're sitting there thinking, what do I say? Did that sound weird? Like, you're just overanalyzing pretty much everything you say or do. Am I talking too much? Am I not talking enough? And instead of just being there in the moment, it's like a performance. It's like you're trying to say all of the right things, trying to be liked, and it starts feeling like you're trying to seek the approval of the other person. And when you're in that mindset, it starts becoming about wanting to be chosen. And when you're focused on being chosen, you forget that you get to choose too. You don't ask yourself the important questions like, do I actually like this person? Because you're so focused on whether or not they like you. And it's like both parties are probably doing this. You know they're doing it, and they know you're probably doing it. It's like it's two people trying to connect while also holding back. We're both sitting there trying to present the best versions of ourselves, trying to seem more attractive, more confident, more whatever we think the other person wants to see. Carefully choosing what we say, how we think it's going to come across. It just feels so performative, and I hate it. I also really feel like a lot of us, including me, I've done this before, put way too much pressure on a date. Typically, we don't know this person, and our brain starts filling in the gaps with the best case scenario. It's like we create this imaginary version of them in our head and what a relationship with them might be like. It's like we're putting all of these expectations on ourselves, on the other person, how it's gonna play out. It's like a form of self-sabotage, because when the reality doesn't meet the expectations, you're left feeling disappointed, and it's really for no reason because you just did this to yourself. And I feel like all of this has been made even worse with things like dating apps, because a lot of the time people aren't viewing each other as people, but options. People start seeming disposable. In the back of your mind, you know that there's always going to probably be a better option just one swipe away. And that mindset makes it really hard to actually find a true, genuine connection with someone, because connection takes time, it takes patience, it takes effort. You have to really get to know someone beyond just the surface. But when everyone seems replaceable, people don't stick around long enough to find that. I'm at a point in my life now where I'm tired of feeling like I'm performing. I'm tired of trying to be liked, trying to seek the approval of others, trying to be accepted from others. I'm just going to be real. I'm just going to be myself. I'm not going to try to make myself seem more attractive, more interesting, more confident, more whatever. It's like, if you like me, you like me, and if you don't, you don't. With the right person, it shouldn't feel performative. The right person will like you for you. And you know, in the future, when it comes to dating, when I finally get myself to actually go on a date again, I'm just gonna show up. I'm just gonna be myself. I guess that's all that I have to say today. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Alright, folks, that's my opinion, and she has a side here. I mean, dating at the moment is so performative, bro, and it's just so annoying, bro. Like, what if people just be themselves, you know? Like, I've stopped streaming because I just need sleep. I'm tired, and yeah, I'll probably see you tomorrow. So anyway,